Well, broadly speaking, if you have capital and savings under a certain level, then the local authority will be responsible for finding and funding somebody's care, provided they meet their eligibility criteria. However, if you have above that level, and typically a property will be included in a means test, then you are deemed as a self-funder. Okay, so you'll be paying for the care yourself and you'll pretty much be left to your own devices. The problem with that, if you don't know where to go, you don't know what questions to ask, or you ask them of the wrong person, the information you're given could lead to dramatic impact on the choices you make. Well, moving into a residential or nursing home can be a very stressful, difficult time as it is. You're having to make the right choices about what care is needed and who's going to provide that. And then, of course, comes the worry and the issue of how to pay for it. So it really is important to get the right advice from the right place. One of the questions we most commonly are asked is, how does the system work? So we have to just clear the rules really around that, making sure people know what benefits they might be able to claim. Some people are unaware. Even as a self-funder, there are benefits that could help them fund their care. Then what tends to happen is people look into the future a little, and whilst they might have sufficient funds to pay for perhaps the first 3 or 4 years of care, they inevitably will be worried about what would happen if the money runs out after that. Will the care home ask mum or dad to move out? Will they as a family perhaps be asked to pay top-ups? It's quite, again, a distressing scenario to envisage. So it's really important to get the advice at that time. The other assumption many people make is that they may have to sell their house. But there are options, and this doesn't always have to be the case. So again, it's important that they're made aware of all options at this time. Well, we have been giving advice in this area for over 10 years, so we really do understand what families are dealing with right now. What we'll do is answer their questions with empathy, but in a clear, concise and relevant way. Rather than just answering the questions, however, what we will do is go on to talk to them about a financial product that might be of interest. Now, 85% of self-funders have no idea that they have any option other than to pay the fees from property sale proceeds or from capital, and as we said earlier, that runs the risk of running out. So what we talk to them about is a financial product called a care fees annuity, and that's something that could provide much greater peace of mind. Well, firstly, I would say that it is not the same as a pension annuity, which is the type of annuity you purchase at retirement. The two should not be confused. However, probably the best person to explain what an annuity is, how it works, and why somebody watching this video might be interested in how it would work for them is somebody who has stood in their shoes. And I'll pass over to a gentleman called Malcolm, who was in this situation himself.
My mother lived by herself from the age of 81 after my father died. Coped pretty well until the last couple of years when she had a bit of help from the local authority on shopping and cleaning and stuff like that. Shortly before her 96th birthday, she broke her hip, so we had to look around and find a home that was suitable for her. The home we liked was very expensive. But we knew it was good because it had been used by a friend of mine for his mother. We knew lots about the benefits and allowances and so forth that she'd be entitled to when she was in the home. We just assumed that what we had to do was to sell the house and use the capital to pay her fees. The money she had from the sale of the house would have lasted perhaps 3-4 years. But that seemed quite a long time because she wasn't in particularly good health. Fortunately, she loved it in the home. Once she got used to it, she liked being there. Her health improved, and then we started to think a little bit about the long-term financing, and we couldn't see a way around it. But about 5 weeks after she went into the home, we read a newspaper article that talked about immediate care annuities. And that seemed to us like the best possible thing for us. So we made our investigations and we organised an immediate care annuity. You have to be brave because you've got to write out a big cheque to start with. And you don't know how long your relative's going to live. But you do get the immediate benefit of peace of mind. My mother knew that she could stay in this home for the rest of her life. And we knew we wouldn't face difficult decisions for her once the money ran out. Right from the start, you know that your relative is in a secure position. They can stay in the home of their choice for the rest of their lives. My mother went into the home at the age of 96. She survived until 3 weeks short of her 102nd birthday. For us, it was not only another option, it was far superior to the path we were already on.
Well, for anybody who is worried, as Malcolm was, perhaps about funds running out, being asked to pay top-up fees, or having a relative asked to leave a care home, we would urge them to get in touch with us with just one telephone call, really. What we can do during that telephone call is fully assess the financial position. We can make recommendations as a result. We will know just from talking to somebody whether this solution is affordable or appropriate. Okay, so if it isn't, we will tell somebody straight away. If it is, we will go on to do that research and then give all of our findings and advice in a written format so that the family can sit down and review that really at their leisure and feel that they have all the information to make an informed decision about how best to pay for care. That's really important if you're acting as a power of attorney as well, for somebody to have all the facts rather than just take the default option. Care fees annuity absolutely does not work for everybody. In some cases it may simply be unaffordable, or we'll often have a situation where perhaps a family can't agree, and some will simply take the choice to fund from capital and take that chance that the money will last, hopefully. But in our experience, around 40% of people will take the care fees annuity as an option if it is viable. And what that does is give the family and the resident themselves complete peace of mind, for obvious reasons. What it also does, in most cases, and where it works very well, is to protect an inheritance, to pass down the generations, which again, we understand that that's a key concern for many families. Okay, well, for anybody who's not ready to speak to us just yet, what they might want to do is still call our free phone number or send us an email and request a free copy of our Paying for Care guide. What the guide does is answer many of the questions that we talked about earlier and explains in outline how the system works. So in that sense, as far as planning ahead is concerned, at least knowledge is power, and they will have a better understanding of how the system works. Well, we do have lots of other information on our website, so if the guide doesn't answer all the questions, have a look at the pages on our website where there'll also be a live chat facility, so somebody can actually post questions and have them answered then and there by one of our team.